Hello everyone, Luke here, and I was just looking for a nostalgic Wii game that I grew up with. Nintendo, the company that won't care about your feelings and just wants your money. They'll do anything, add pointless DLCs to games, delete videos for using their music. Nintendo was a bear you don't want to poke nowadays, but that wasn't always the case. Nintendo used to produce some of the most high quality games that defined its generation and had magical experiences that everybody could enjoy. The Wii series was definitely a series with its ups and downs, though. There were some all-time classics like Wii Play and of course Wii Sports. But then games like Wii Fit and Wii Music received many lower reviews. I'm sure at some point I'll get through all these games, but for now, let's start at the beginning. And it was when Nintendo was falling into obscurity. Nintendo systems were selling less and less. However, the Nintendo DS sold like crazy in 2004 and 2005. This was because the console had simple games that anybody could understand. Like smartphone games now. That meant that Nintendo DS's sold more than the PSP, which is crazy. So Nintendo decided to use their tactic from the DS and put it into the Wii. And well, Nintendo needed a launch game for the system. So then one day, a guy named, I don't really know how the idea for Wii Sports came to be, but I'm sure it had something to do with the fancy Wiimote being able to do motion control. I'm sure that made designing a sports simulation a no-brainer for Nintendo. And since it was the most sold single-platform game, I think it worked out for them. I mean, I think if Mario Galaxy was the launch title, I think the Wii would sell much worse. And I mean, just think, which one would Grandpa rather want to play? This game or this game? I mean, it's just such a welcoming launch title that everybody can understand. Wii Sports launched with the Wii in 2006 for North America and Japan. Now, Europe's probably still waiting for the game. Now, the pack conversion is a paper sleeve that goes in. There are actual boxes out there, but 99% don't have it, myself included. It shows every sport clear and yeah, good packaging. However, sorting this game is not really fun. Now you pop the game in and... nostalgia. This is a game I definitely grew up with. However, I remember playing Wii Sports Resort way more back then. Why is that? Is this a bad game? I mean, no, it's not a bad game, obviously. It's a good game, but how come I always go back to Wii Sports Resort instead of this one? The menu music. Nintendo will burn down my house and sue me for $3 million and kidnap my whole family if I play 1 second of the music. The music screams nostalgia. This is every part of my childhood. We pressed start, and oh yeah. There was an issue for a while where people threw their Wiimotes into TVs because they forgot it was a sports simulation. Funny looking back, but I'm so glad my TV survived my big Wii phase. After that, we are greeted to the sports list. Mom, bowling and golf are sports. I mean, this is just proof. Look at these sales. Tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing are the sports at play. They're good choices. It's not something complicated like football or track, I don't know. So first off, we have tennis. This is the most simple sport in the package, and a good starting one. It's simple, almost too simple. You swing your Wii remote to hit the tennis racket. Yeah, that's it. Not really much strategy. I think it works well for people who have never touched a Wii remote before, which in this case, yeah, tennis sets exactly on what it sets out to do. I just don't feel much playing this. I think the best part of the game is shaking the Wii remote after winning. I don't know, it's just fun, I guess. Baseball. Now, this is my kind of game. Not in real life. This is probably the most in-depth experience you'll find in the package. It's baseball. You swing the remote to swing. You can do different pitches, and I also love how the crowd is just dots. I mean, they really couldn't put Mies in there. Also, too, this wasn't in the script, but I also want to point out how it's ridiculously hard to hit a triple. Like, it's nearly impossible. I think they probably could have made getting triples a bit easier, but oh well. Oh well, on to bowling, and bowling will always be one of my favorite sports in real life, but here, let me just say, the pins feel a bit stiff. It's weird. The pins just fall downwards or in a straight line. It doesn't really feel realistic. I much prefer the Wii Sports version. You can throw the bowling ball backwards and freak out the crowd, or bowl into the other lane. Anyways, let's move on before I have to talk about another sport that's worse than the Wii Sports Resort version. Golf. Yeah, it's golf. You swing your club into holes. There are different wind speeds you need to take account for. Many different clubs to try and use. Also, the 9 holes present here in Resort are the same ones from remastered from the NES Golf back in the 80s, which is awesome. However, due to the negative critics that I can speak for, with something like boxing, which I'll get to soon, it does a much better job recognizing where your hand is. Here, it's so hard for my swinging to mean much. Sometimes I swing perfectly straight and I get thrown way off course, and then other times I have a messy shot and it's all good. Also, I have this weird problem where I don't swing hard enough and have to let go of the B button to reline. Like, I can't be the only one with this issue. Golf is good and probably has the most content out of the 5 sports. I just think it was done better in Resort. as most things really. Boxing. Now, this is real fun. You need to equip a nunchuck to use as your other hands. Maybe it's just me, or my nunchuck wasn't hooked up properly, but my left boxing glove wasn't really moving. Probably just me though. Anyways, you hit your opponents to knock them down, and you have to hope they don't get up. It's a pretty fun time. And those are the 5 sports. Overall, a good selection. The selection really complements the sports aspect of the game, if that makes any sense. Oh, but we have training games. These are really cool, as I don't see these brought up when people are talking about the game. And while on the surface they seem like normal training games or like tutorials, they go a lot deeper. So, tennis and baseball, so much wasted potential. I mean, come on, like the tennis court is blue and you can hit things like play with yourself by hitting a brick wall. Not really fun. And baseball, I get it, these aren't really meant to be fleshed out, but all of the variants of just hitting. Like, what's the difference between hitting a ball and hitting home runs? The others are quite good actually. Bowling has some really good ones. You have spin control and 100 pin challenge. They're so good they got their own mode in Wii Sports Resort. Boxing has cool mini games too. You can see old newspapers in the background, which shows how Matt was a pro boxer at one point, which he has also kind of become a meme. He's up there with Steve with iconicness. But the best training game has to be this golf one where you try and hit the scoreboard. There's a smaller target with more points, so it has a good risk and reward factor to it. This one's just really good. Overall, this is an amazing tech demo that appealed to everybody. They had many fun pick up to play minigames. But usually when I'm in the mood to play this game, I just play the resort version. Why is that? Well, stay tuned. Anyways, I have to get rid of this game. I mean, nobody grew up playing this game. I'll just set it off for later.